Robstar Gang, what is up? TGIF, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to yet another episode of the Robstar Report. Appreciate everyone joining the live stream. Again, do me a favor, make sure on your way in, starting a little early tonight. I know I scheduled it for 8 o'clock, but we're 10 minutes early, so I was like, why not? Why not? I'm always late most of that half of the time anyway. So I said, why not? Let's go live 10 minutes early. So again, I appreciate everyone joining the live stream. Again, do me a favor. Make sure you smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and make sure you click that post notifications bell so you don't miss out on new content as you guys are coming in. So we're going to be breaking down this Miami Dolphins game, man. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. After watching that 49ers and Rams game, I do feel better about our chances in this game. I mean, if Mac Jones can go out there with just CMC and then take the rest of a 49ers squad without George Kittle, without Brandon Ayuk, without Ricky Pearsall, without those guys being out there, without Juwan Jennings, well, God damn it, this Panthers team can go out there and beat the Miami Dolphins. Am I going to pick them to win? Y'all have to stay through the whole episode and obviously find out. All right. So again, I appreciate the live stream. Do me a favor again, smash that like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And again, make sure you click that post notifications bell so you don't miss out on new content. Again, I appreciate everyone being here. We're gonna dive into it. I'm just trying to see, make sure my coaching won that game last night too. Hope Canals can get it together. This is true. Mr. Dummo Smith. Appreciate you coming through, my guy. Appreciate you coming through. Appreciate you coming through, man. Shout out to everyone who's in the chat. Make sure you guys get in the chat. Love to hear y'all's thoughts as we go throughout this. Let me pull up my screen, ladies and gentlemen. Let me pull up my screen here. Share my screen. Where did my give me 1 second. There it is. Lomax, what's good? All right, Panthers Dolphins preview. Let's get into it, man. Injury report. This is not ideal. This is not something I really want to go over with you guys. But we got to. We always got to go over the injury report because I tell you what, this team can't catch a break. I'll tell you that much. This team just can't catch a break, man. Like when this team needed stability heading into week 5 against the Miami Dolphins, you come out, you look at this injury report, rolling out a bunch of key contributors, right? And the headline, of course, is Chuba Hubbard, who's going to be out, is officially out with that calf strain. This isn't a surprise. He didn't practice a single day this week, but it is a gut punch for an offense that already struggles to generate explosive plays. And now you have to shuffle this backfield up. Hubbard has been one of the few reliable weapons, I feel like, on this offense. And without him, then you have to lean heavier on Rico Dowdle, Trevor Etienne, and DJ Dallas. And it's probably, we'll dive into that. I see a running back committee approach going into this game. We'll see. I think you really need to. I think it has to do with what I said the other day. Like, since Chuba Hubbard's going to be out, right? Like, I would stop splitting carries, but in this game, you're going to probably have to feed Rico Dowdle, right? Rico Dowdle's not giving up the same workload as Chuba Hubbard, though. Like, he's not giving the same workload as Chuba Hubbard, but because Hubbard is a workhorse. He's a downhill violent runner who gets better with more touches, right, as he gets. And maybe that's what Rico Dowdle needs as well. I don't know. But, Rico Dowdle right now is averaging like 3.0 yards per carry and 4.0 yards per catch, where you got Chuba Hubbard averaging like 4.1 yards per rush and 7.2 yards reception. Chuba Hubbard's flat out better, right? But now you're in a position that you have other guys on the roster like DJ Dallas that you brought in. He's going to be that special teams ace. That's what he came here to be. And then you got Trevor Etienne. I think you have to take the same approach in this situation just by don't split the carries as much, just feed Rico Dowdle, right? I think that's the smarter approach. But again, we'll see. Of course, as the time goes on, as the game goes on through against the Dolphins, right? Luke Patella, what's good? PBG, damn, all these guys out. No, not all these guys are out. If you look at the far right, PBG, it says who's out and who's not. You got DJ Wanham and Cam Jackson are questionable, and LeBron Ray, that's questionable. Bad one, what's good? So here's the thing. The good news is with Tre'von, the bad news is also you lose Tre'von Sanders, right? The guy who I believe could be a true. I feel like Tre'von Sanders has all the talent in the world and the potential in the world to be a really good tight end in this league. We've seen a lot of flashes. We've seen the potential there. He's leaned out. He's gotten faster this year. I felt like we saw a lot more of him getting involved in this offense as time's gotten on, and now with this ankle injury, he's now shelved. And he hasn't. It's not like he's been a powerhouse or anything, but it does hurt the depth more than the star power, right? But I do think with the fact that they were starting to use him more, it does suck. Not having another weapon out there on the field for your quarterback. As for Tershawn Wharton, this guy's can't catch a break, man. This guy's out too. This is a guy that, was brought in to help with those interior pressures. This guy continues to lose time, and we're losing him as time thins out. An already inconsistent defensive line that's not really helping us. So losing a guy like that, especially with a toe injury, it's just unfortunate. And then of course you got Shaw Smith Wade, who was lights out in that Atlanta game, who's been battling his way into snaps. And you've got Miami, who's a track team, a receiving core now not with Tyreek Hill. You got Jaylen Waddle, but it's still, you got Jaylen Waddle, Darren Waller. It's still kind of bad timing, in my opinion, especially when you're trying to turn things around, right? Again, I said that this is these 4 games I said the Patriots, the Dolphins, the Cowboys, and the Jets. This 4-game stretch is going to be the most important this season. And I still believe that. I had someone try to argue with me that they said the last 4 games of the season would be most important. For what? We're not making the playoffs. We're not making the playoffs if we don't go down this first 4-game stretch. I just don't understand people's mindset when it comes to their thought processing on some things. But again, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Bryce Young, 2 touchdowns. Sorry, me being delusional. I'm not going to say anything, Luke. I'm not going to say anything. Every time we get good players, they get hurt or we don't play them. Come on, Chuba is overrated. He dances too much on the backfield instead of hitting the lanes. I left a voicemail on Gronk and Edelman's hotline, as you should, Tom Brady, 12. Nah, Chuba, just saying under as crap. It's the Jimmy Horn Jr. ride, and here we go. Yep, we'll dive into more of him here shortly. So, some unfortunate news. Again, you've got these guys out. Taylor Moton's good to go. DJ Wanham was limited early in the week, full participant on Friday. So I have a feeling he'll be fine if he was full participant. Cam Jackson, full all week. Still questionable for some reason, but I expect him to probably play as well, or maybe if he gets any playing time at all. Obviously, you got Xavier Legette up there, full participant all week. You expect him to play. K Mace, knee, but full participant all week. Expect him to play. Tanner McMillan, full participant all week. Expect him to play. And then you got LeBron Ray, full all week, coming back, questionable. What it means against the thing is this means against a team like Miami is that this isn't the type of injury list you want when your opponent has two of the fastest receivers in football. Well, one of them now, not two. I keep forgetting that Tyreek Hill blew out his his leg is basically done, Zogaduru, but I keep forgetting that it's basically his season's over. But we lose a consistent chain mover in Hubbard. You got to rely on DJ Dallas and again Rico Dowdle and Trevor Etienne. So those guys are going to be carrying the workload. Hopefully Rico gets more of the carries and they're not splitting the backfield. But the run game has been shaky already. And then again, you have no Sanders. So Jadeveon Sanders to me is not a backbreaker, but it does remove a weapon for short yardage, red zone packages that we could definitely use. No Wharton, no Smith Wade. Again, this is a defense that is thin already, in my opinion, at both the line. In coverage, I think we've been just fine. Besides, of course, Nick Scott, but this is not an ideal scenario against a Miami team, right? The silver lining here in all of this is you've got T-Mac coming back, or you've got T-Mac in full go. You got Legette full go, Pat Jones full go. You know, you had DJ Waddle on Friday full go, right? You got Taylor Moton, Kane Mays, all these guys. They're all full go. So definitely helps. Maybe Legette. Maybe we'll see a Legette that we've been waiting for. The bottom line here is that going into this game 1-3, we're beat up and we're staying down one of those teams that just had a bounce back game. But this is another one that I feel like for Carolina could be a get right game. This could be a game that for us to get right. I do believe that. But losing guys like this, the absences really do magnify everything this offense already struggles with. Consistency, balance, the big plays, right? You know, adding in missing defenders against a Miami's Dolphins team that does thrive in space, that does thrive in speed. So this game has the potential to really go either way, in my opinion, just because of the Miami's injuries and Tua Tagovailoa, which I'll dive more into him. But Dave Canales has been talking all week about creating more explosive plays on offense. I would love that. I've been begging him to be more aggressive. I've been begging him to be more creative. It'll be interesting to see how he does it without like Chuba Hubbard and Jadeveon Sanders in this. As for Wharton and Smith Wade, hope maybe we'll see how that defense lines up. But again, this is not an injury report you really want to go into in a game that could be a true get right game for this team. So, the battle of the bad QBs. I'm being serious. That wasn't a troll. Well, hey, go for it, man. Reach for the stars. We need to take deep shots with T-Mac. We'll see, Band One. Again, I appreciate everyone joining the live stream. Do me a favor. Make sure you smash that like button, hit that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. Make sure you click that post notifications bell so you don't miss out on new content. Hold on one second, folks. Jesus. The wife is wondering. The wife is asking questions. Tough to create explosive plays when the quarterback can't push the ball down the field. Make Panthers great again. Absolutely, T Green. Absolutely. All right, so that was the injury report. Offensive preview. Let's dive into that first. I want to talk about the offensive preview, because We're back in Charlotte this week. We're at home. There's just one simple mission here. Prove that this offense isn't completely broken. Luckily, the Miami Dolphins defense, I'll say this, they're dead last in the NFL defense DVOA. So this might be the perfect opponent to test that theory. But again, this offense has been a roller coaster by a roller coaster, just the same ride. And then you have that one steep drop on that roller coaster, and then there's that brief climb before you just shoot straight down. But the thing is what happened in New England is you go out there and had a chance to build momentum against the Patriots when you just beat the Falcons 30-0. And for about 7 plays, like I said, those first scripted plays, it looked like they might be cooking something up because that first drive was just perfect. And we marched that offense down the field 76 yards on the opening drive, scored a touchdown. It was clean execution, very well balanced play calling, in my opinion. It looked like we were making progress, right? Things were going in the right direction. Well, I mean, obviously I was wrong after that, but then the wheels fell off. And then the next 8 drives went punt, missed field goal, punt, turnover on downs, punt, turnover on downs. So that's not just that's not just inefficiency. That is an offensive malpractice, ladies and gentlemen. Outside of that, man, of their opening touchdown and garbage time score led by Andy Dalton on that play, we only gained 159 total yards and 11 first downs on 45 plays, which again, against a Patriots defense that was ranked 29th in DVOA, that had been linking yards in the first 3 weeks, which I feel that game against New England last week was just inexcusable. Yeah, I know Christian Gonzalez returned and made a difference, but still, this is an offense that couldn't get out of its own way. I think it's also a head coach that can't get out of his own way, just like the same way our owner can't get out of his own way. But I'm telling you right now, Miami is that get right opponent. I do feel like this is a game to get yourself right. Because this Miami's defense, to put it kindly, they're not very good. It's the same way I felt about the Patriots. They're not very good. They're ranked 32nd in DVOA for a reason, right? Last week, yes, they beat the Jets, right? But don't let the score fool you, man. Like New York's offense, which has been painful to watch, right? They're only averaging over 7 yards per play. The only reason Miami wasn't embarrassed was because the Jets gift wrapped the game with 3 turnovers and a pile of pre-snap penalties. That's the good news for Carolina, because if we can simply avoid being our own worst enemy, someone said it the other day, we are basically Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. That's what it's called. I remember the show or whatever. There are points to be had here, ladies and gentlemen. There are points to be had. You know what I mean? There are points to be had here, ladies and gentlemen. What's up, Marcos? Again, I appreciate everyone joining the live stream. Do me a favor. Make sure you smash that like button, okay? Make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Share the live. I would greatly appreciate it. All right. But, again, let me get into the keys of this game for this offense. First things first, protect the football, man. This one's non-negotiable for me. Miami hasn't proven they can stop anyone straight up, because they rely on mistakes to bail them out, right? So against the Jets, It was turnovers and sloppy penalties. Bryce has been hot and cold when it comes to ball security. Some weeks he looks poised and protects the ball perfectly. Other weeks he looks like he's pressing and coughs it up multiple times, and there's been no middle ground. So if we want to play clean, if we want to play clean, we have to not turn the ball over, be efficient with the football. The same things I've been saying, that's what we need to do. Again, that doesn't mean that you don't get aggressive with the play calling on offense, okay? Don't be mentally soft out there. Like we've seen that the schemes have been passive and predictable, right? And they've been basically begging to get picked apart. But Canales, his safe play calling is putting this team in holes that you can't climb out of. Again, I always go back to that example in that film that I've watched a couple times now against New England. It was 6-0 in New England. And I remember that we were driving and it was a 3rd and 10 in plus territory. Remember? I think a lot of you guys remember that. You dial up a Rico Dowdle draw play. You get 2 yards. You punt. The Marcus Jones promptly returns at 87 yards for a touchdown. Momentum dead, and after that game was basically over from there. Then later on, it's 3rd and 15. You do another draw play to Rico Dowdle, 2 yards. You punt, another massive Jones return. It's the same mistake, same result. That's not smart football. That's coaching scared, right? If you're 1-3 and you're getting blown out, the last thing you should be doing is calling draw plays on 3rd and long. Call something aggressive. Take a shot. Show some guts. But again, at the same time, like, you still have to be aggressive. We've seen this. We've seen it time and time again. Seen it time and time again where we shit the bed. We do. We shit the bed. So, again, still got to be efficient with the football, though. Still got to take care of it. But that does not take away from the play calling, not being creative and aggressive. You still got to be aggressive. You still got to show some guts, right? So don't hand the ball Miami and give them extra possessions because they'll move the ball, point blank, period. You know what I mean? All right, run the ball until they stop it. No, I've been pounding the table for a run first approach in this offense because of the quarterback. This week, I'm going to still pound the table for the same thing. You're talking about a run defense that has been a turn style. They're giving up 5.1 yards per carry, 4th worst in the NFL, and it's trending worse by the week. James Cook, all right, James Cook, I was looking at his stats against him earlier. Gashed them for 5.7 yards per carry in week 2. Bryce Young had 5.8 with them per carry. Even quarterbacks have found, honestly, against this Miami defense, they found some daylight scoring 4 rushing touchdowns in just 4 games. So, again, get the ball, run the damn ball. That is another one. Run the damn ball. Point blank, period. Point blank, period. That's it. Run it. That's all I'm asking for. Because, again, if you run the ball, you open up the pass, it takes the pressure off of your quarterback that seems to, can't find his own footing. But maybe if you run the ball, maybe you'll have a quarterback that, seems to know how to pass the ball. Just saying. We've been saying it. We've been pounding the table here. Run the damn ball. Right? So again, I will pound the table until I'm red in the face about running this damn ball. And to, especially with this team right now, man. Like it's not a fluke, especially for a defense that they've got going on there in Miami. It's not a fluke. That's a defense that can't plug gaps. They can't shed blocks. They can't tackle consistently. Now, of course, against this team, it wouldn't shock me if it goes the opposite way but statistically, from a statistical standpoint, Miami's defense can't do any of those things. They can't plug gaps. They can't shred blocks. Can't tackle consistently. Why do you think they're 32nd in DVOA? Why do you think James Conner averaged 5.7 yards per carry in week 2? Breece Hall this past week 5.8, and then in the first 4 games of the season, they've had at least one rushing touchdown by a quarterback. Right? You know, this is a perfect time to lean on your run game. All right. And anyone else who can tote the rock. So control the ground game, control the tempo. Don't overthink it, man. Don't overthink it. Please don't. Please don't. But of course, Dave Canales might. Dave Canales might. Feed off the home field. Let's face it. This team isn't exactly known for creating a fortress-like home field advantage. I feel like most of the time visiting fans find their way into Bank of America Stadium, but this week that shouldn't be a problem. The Dolphins don't exactly travel like the Cowboys or the Steelers. This should feel like a true home crowd and that matters a lot because especially for your quarterback who desperately needs that home comfort, his splits are night and day. On the road, he is 1-17, ladies and gentlemen. Bryce Young on the road is 1-17 and averages around 14.1 yards or 14.1 points per game. When he's at home, it's around 6. He's 6-10 record, and he averages around 22.3 points per game. So that's not just noise. That's a quarterback who simply performs better in Charlotte, for sure. Again, I feel that this Dolphins defense is soft, and I really don't feel like there's any excuses here, man. Like, this is the perfect stage for Young to show some progress and for this offense to look functional once again. Point blank period, man. Point blank period. That may be asking too much, Clay. I know, I probably am. I'm probably asking way too much as I normally do. I always ask for too much, man. But you know what? You got to with this team, man. You have to. This team will let you down in a heartbeat. But we've seen that time and time again. We've seen that time and time again, chat. We've seen it time and time again, chat. Again, I appreciate everyone joining the live stream. Do me a favor, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. I greatly appreciate it. It goes a long way. All right. Appreciate it. So, again, this isn't a team that's going like the Panthers aren't going to like this team can't go out there and scare anyone with this offense until they show consistency. That's going to be the biggest thing. But this again, I feel like this is a favorable matchup as they're going to get. Like I think this is the most favorable matchup you're going to get. And Miami's defense is last in the league for a reason. You just got to take care of the football, pound the rock, and let Bryce play with some cushion of a supporting home crowd. That's the formula. If you can't move the ball and score against the Dolphins defense, then the problems run deeper than anyone else wants to admit. I'm telling you right now, if I don't see this team move the ball against a Miami defense that's dead last in DVOA, we're going to have a different conversation. We are going to have a different conversation. All right, defense. Defense. Can this defense bounce back? That's the biggest thing. Can this defense bounce back? That's the biggest thing for me. I want to see this defense. The thing is, too, that's another thing. I got to go back to the aggressive play calling. It's got to start happening on defense, because Evero's defense is blitzing just about 23.4% of the time. It's good for the 20th in the NFL. That's a Fangio tree number. Fangio's whole philosophy is that bend but don't break. The problem is this team has been breaking. They've had 2 sacks all season. 2. That's dead last in the league. We've literally had 2 sacks all season in 4 games. And one of those was Turk Wharton falling on a scrambling Drake May for 0 yards. That's not pass rush. That is participation trophy. That's where we're at. Yes, Pat Jones, DJ Waddle were out. Yes, rookies Nick Scorton, Princely Mamiel are still learning. It does not matter. When you can't generate pressure with your front, you blitz. That's what you do. You blitz. You take risk. If the secondary gets beat, so be it. Sitting back and waiting for quarterbacks to carve you up clearly isn't working. I mean, it's just like I go back and watch the film, and it's like 3rd and 15. I think it was 3rd and 15. And for the Patriots, Drake May is back there, and we're rushing 4 on 3rd and 15. While we let our corners sit back, while we let our corners and linebackers sit back. And then they get the first down. Because we're not getting any pressure on Drake May. What's up, Justin Bryant? Appreciate you coming through. SC Panthers boy, what's up? Appreciate you coming through. So you gotta show something at edge. You gotta show something at edge, because that's the biggest thing. I just feel like we've just been stuck in neutral all year. Like, it hasn't mattered which opponent we were against or what shaky offensive line looks on paper. We just haven't created consistent pressure, right? Last week was another dud against the Patriots. Their offensive line had been a mess. The Patriots have been. And the Panthers managed just 2 total pressures and 1 sack. That's it. This is a group that was supposed to set the tone for this defense and has been MIA since week 1. The rotation is in flux too. Right? You got DJ Johnson that got started last week alongside Princely Mamiel. Johnson isn't even on the roster anymore, thank God. DJ Waddle and Patrick Jones are working on their way to come back in this rotation. We'll see if they return. But even if they return, Carolina is going to have to lean on rookies like Mamiel and Nick Scorton. Like, the bottom line is, if the offense can't sustain drives, and let's be honest, that they usually can't because they haven't been able to, this defense has no chance unless the pass rush wakes up. Someone has to generate pressure. I mean, Tua will just pick us apart. And Mike McDaniels will have a field day with the play calling. But if you can get pressure on Tua, it's game over. I mean, it's simple as that. We've seen Tua Tagovailoa, when pressure comes on him, he shits his pants. Or worse, gets concussed. That's or he does both at the same time. He shits his pants and gets concussed. You got to generate pressure. So show me something at the edge group, please. Next up, this is the biggest thing for me is containing De'Von Achane. If there's one thing that we did, I felt like okay when we played New England, it was holding the run game. We held them to 104 rushing yards. So that's pretty good. That's not bad considering that this defense was consistently thrown into short fields, bad situations by the offense and special teams. But the Patriots in that game were more efficient when they did run, but the Panthers at least avoided getting completely steamrolled from a running standpoint, right? This week, this is a tough challenge. It's different tougher because Miami will be without Tyreek Hill, which means they'll lean probably even harder on De'Von Achane, in my opinion, who's been an absolute problem both as a runner and as a receiver. But here's the issue. Our linebackers have been generous. Let's just say that. Generous. I think generous means more like soft. At best, they've been underwhelming. At worst, they've been flat out embarrassing. Like Achane is the type of player who thrives against bad tackling and blown assignments. So he doesn't need 20 carries to wreck a defense, to how explosive he is. A couple touches in space, and he can flip a game just like that. So he's a guy. If you want to win this game, the Panthers don't get hats to the ball, wrap up. Achane can turn this into a track meet real quick. Real quick. Rock Jones, I hear you, man. Bring on the rookies. Can't get any worse than Nick Scott. I feel you. Make Panthers great again. I think we have a hat on the NFC South Roundtable that says that, if I'm not mistaken. I'll have to go check their store. Again, I appreciate everyone joining the live stream. Do me a favor. Make sure you smash that like button. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Make sure you click that post notifications bell so you don't miss any new content. All right, let's move on to the last slide here. Don't let Waddle and Waller eat. What do I mean by that? So no Tyreek Hill means this passing attack will shift squarely on these two guys, Waddle and Waller. All right. Waddle has been relatively quiet this year, 17 catches, 185 yards, 2 touchdowns through 4 games. He hasn't gone nuclear yet, but he's always one play away, I feel like. Carolina's secondary has actually been serviceable. I really feel like at limiting big receivers, but Waddle's speed will be a test for them in ways most guys can't. The big problem will be, I think, Waller. Guy comes out of retirement trying to have a rap career, then goes out there in his first game back last week, scored twice. The bad news for Panthers defense that has made opposing tight ends look like Hall of Famers. Seriously, I feel like this unit has been getting torched by tight ends every single week. And Waller's a physical mismatch, and Tua isn't afraid to feed him in the red zone. We saw that against the Jets. So we got to scheme up some answers for Waller. Or we're going to be chasing him into the end zone all afternoon in this game. So, yeah, that's where I'm at with that. So, final preview prediction, ladies and gentlemen. Final preview and prediction. Ooh. This one's tough for me. Hold on one second. I am texting the wife real quick. Here's the thing. we are a team right now that's coming into this game desperate for answers. Because again, we are desperate for answers because we've looked flat outside of the rare scripted drives. Obviously losing Chuba Hubbard does not help. Bryce Young has widely been inconsistent, either taking care of the football or imploding turnovers. And I feel like this is a game that we are we are razor thin margin for error is on full display. On the other side, you got Miami, one of the NFL's weirdest teams right now, in my opinion. Their defense, again, like I said, is ranked dead last in DVOA. So they're giving up chunk plays almost to anyone. I still feel like if this was ever a get right game for Carolina's offense, this is it. The Dolphins give up 5.1 yards per carry, like I said earlier in the show. They struggle to defend explosive passes, and they often survive on opponent mistakes rather than stops. So I think the reality is here, ladies and gentlemen, even without Tyreek Hill, Miami still has enough firepower to punish us if they want to. I think De'Von Achane is going to be a nightmare matchup for this linebacker group. Jaylen Waddle will demand bracket coverage. Darren Waller against Carolina safety is already a mismatch, in my opinion, unless they get Nick Scott out of there. But it's definitely a mismatch waiting to happen. The Panthers defense is scrap. We are a scrappy defense for some reason when we're at home. They've yet to allow a point in Charlotte this year, but ask them to contain Miami for 4 quarters while our offense is kind of been sputtering. That is a big ask, right? This matchup screams bounce back opportunity for us, but history says don't buy it, right? Bryce Young is 1-17 on the road. He hasn't proved he can be consistent in carrying offense, even at home, unless Jimmy Horn Jr., Tedero McMillan explode out there. I'm worried that this team might not even still be able to keep pace. I know Miami's defense is bad, but our offense might be worse. Might be worse. But again, the bottom line is here, I'm going to take the Dolphins in this matchup. I'm still sticking with it. Again, until proven otherwise that this team can win games consistently. Not one game, not 2 games. I need to see consistency. I need to see consistency from this team win more than just one game. I can't remember the last time this team has had back-to-back wins. Can someone tell me the last time the Carolina Panthers had back-to-back wins where they won one game and then the next week they won another? I can't remember. I know it's got to be a long time. But I'm going to take the Dolphins 26-23. That's my final score. I think this is a game where we'll show flashes. We'll move the ball better than last week, but I think Miami will take this game. Again, until they prove me otherwise. Until this team proves me otherwise, I'm picking against them. Until this team can prove to me that they can have a competent offense, a competent defense, and win back-to-back games, be consistent week in and week out, be competitive week in and week out, we'll have a different conversation. Until then, I'm going to take this team. Or I'm taking the opposing team. But I'm going to take the Miami Dolphins 26-23 in a close one. We'll show some fight, but they'll show some flashes. We'll show some potential. But I just think that the Miami's playmakers tilt the game late in that game. So Again, I appreciate everyone joining the live stream. Do me a favor. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you click that post notifications bell so you don't miss out on new content. I greatly appreciate it. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Marcos Cash, Roy, Blake, Ken88, Luke Patillo, Bad One, T Green, Rock Jones, SC Panthers Boy 803, Justin Bryant. Who else am I missing in here? Broski Bear. Let's see who else. I know I'm missing a couple of other people in here. PBG, Tom Brady 12, Sarit Diaz, Lomax, Dummo Smith. Shout out to all you guys in the chat, man. Am I going live Sunday? Yes. I will be live for my live play-by-play like we always have been, Marcos. Always. Live Sunday, live play-by-play right here. I will be live for that play-by-play, so make sure you're here, okay? Come through. Appreciate everyone joining the live stream tonight. I am going to go and enjoy myself and relax on this beautiful Friday evening. I hope you guys enjoy yourselves today, tomorrow, before I see you on Sunday. So shout out to everyone in the chat. And again, y'all have a blessed evening. I will see you on Sunday. And as always, y'all know what to do. Keep pounding. I'm out. Peace.